An authoritarian regime never just kicks down the door, it creeps in, it seduces, it whispers like a dangerous lover. I'll protect you, I'll give you greatness, just obey me. And before you know it, your every move is already marked by its presence. Today we're not talking about TikTok's China, or cheap cell phones. We're talking about China as a power project, officially communist, blank. But, under the strict gaze of history, philosophy and psychology, it carries the marks of something much darker. Fascism. Classic fascism, in Mussolini's Italy and Hitler's Germany, always started as a promise of greatness. It was the voice that told the nation, you are special, you are superior, you deserve to rule the world. Classic fascism, in Mussolini's Italy and Hitler's Germany, always began as a promise of greatness. It presents itself as the savior, promising to restore lost glory and give purpose to those who feel lost. It was the voice that told the nation, you are special, you are superior, you deserve to rule the world. It's a powerful seduction for a wounded society, one that falls in love with its own idealized image reflected in the leader's eyes. Short pause, darker tone. But like any abusive relationship, every promise came with invisible chains. At first they're subtle, control of information, rewriting history, psychological intimidation. Then the chains tighten. Censorship, violence, submission. Dissent is crushed, and individual conscience is sacrificed at the altar of an authoritarian collective. Slow cadence, reflective tone. It wasn't just politics, it was body. It was desire, it was identity. Total control isn't satisfied with dominating the public square. It needs to invade the bedroom, the mind, the blood. The body becomes a state project, celebrated when it's strong, productive, and racially pure. Desire is regulated, who you can love, with whom you should procreate to strengthen the nation. Your identity is no longer yours to build, it is imposed, a uniform everyone must wear. Rising tone. And this obsession leads to the cult of purity against the fear of mixing. The fear of losing oneself in the other. This other, the foreigner, the dissident, the minority, is transformed into an existential threat, a contaminant. Fear is the weapon that isolates, that makes you believe only the regime offers security. The ultimate goal is to erase the boundary between your being and the state, until the only security you feel is in complete submission. Now look at China. It doesn't talk about an Aryan race, it talks about Han civilization. More than 90% of the population is Han, and the state says, they are the heart of China. Dramatic pause, low tone. The others? They might exist, but they must adapt or disappear. Harsher tone, speeding up. Muslim Uyghurs, re-education, Tibetans, silence, foreigners, always guess. Dry emphasis, never family. And you might think, and rightly so, but China has opened up to the world. We see its products everywhere. Its cities look like something out of a sci-fi movie. They innovate in technology, in artificial intelligence. That doesn't look like the image we have of a closed regime like Nazism was. It's an image of progress, of a bright and connected future. But we need to be careful. This shiny facade, this promise of a technological future, it's just the mask of modernity. A mask forged in silicon and steel designed to seduce and distract both its own citizens and the rest of the world. It hides a power structure that isn't new, just updated. Think about it. Fascism, in all its forms, has always been a master of spectacle. Aesthetics were a political tool. Hitler didn't just have an army. He had Leni Riefenstahl and her monumental films, transforming ideology into an epic experience. Mussolini didn't just give speeches, he orchestrated crowds in meticulously planned squares, creating an image of overwhelming power. The goal was the same, to hypnotize the masses, to replace critical thinking with collective emotion. Ironic tone. And today's China? It has taken that lesson to an unimaginable level. Its spectacles aren't just the Olympic ceremonies. They are the skyscrapers of Shanghai that pierce the clouds and apps, like TikTok, that not only fill pockets but colonize the minds of every young person on the planet. It's an interactive and addictive spectacle that sells an image of creativity and global connection. Grave, slow voice. But behind this digital storefront, behind every like and every skyscraper, the logic of power remains unchanged. The technology that entertains you is the same one that watches you. The social credit system that rewards conformity is the other side of innovation. The message, whispered by algorithms and recorded by facial recognition cameras, is the same as the old regime's. Emphasis. You belong to the state. Your identity, your data, your future do not belong to you. You can even get married, even have children in China, But you will never have full citizenship. Low tone, almost whisper. It's like sleeping in the same bed, but always being treated as a stranger. The psychology behind this is clear: excitement and fear. The regime presents itself as the perfect lover. Short pause, firmer tone, but every caress comes with an invisible leash, slow, measured, and this leash doesn't tighten all at once. It tightens slowly, until you no longer know if you are being loved, dramatic whisper, or possessed. And if you're 16, 17 years old and listening to this right now, pay close attention. It's easy to think that the horrors of authoritarianism are confined to the yellowed pages of history books, but the truth is more subtle and therefore more dangerous. Regimes like these aren't just a thing of the past, they live in the present, disguised as modernity. They present themselves as the vanguard of progress, efficiency, and order. Think about the promise of a perfectly organized society where technology solves all problems, where cameras on every corner guarantee safety and a social credit system rewards good behavior. It seems futuristic, it seems efficient, but at what cost? This is the model we see perfecting itself in places like China, an open-air laboratory for digital control. Fascism isn't dead, it is merely adapted, trading the swastika for algorithms, rallies for viral campaigns. It just changed clothes. Sometimes it's still the military uniform, promising order through force. Other times it's the technocrat's suit talking about spreadsheets and growth, treating citizens as numbers. And increasingly it wears a technological cloak, invisible and omnipresent, but deep down, it's always the same game, and it has 3 acts. First, seduction, the promise of a greater purpose, of belonging, of restoring lost glory. A powerful narrative, especially when you're looking for your place in the world. Then, control, a control that doesn't need walls because it lives in your pocket, on your phone. It monitors what you read, who you talk to, what you think, creating a bubble where dissent is silenced by an algorithm. And the final step is submission, the most dangerous because it is often voluntary. It's trading the freedom to think for the convenience of not having to question. It's accepting that the state knows what's best for you. Firm, slow voice. Seduction, control, submission, rising tone. This is the game, and the first rule to not be a pawn in it is to understand how it's played. And when this dangerous lover knocks on your door, challenging tone, will you open your arms, or will you have the courage to say no? Fascism isn't dead, it just changed clothes. The question is, will you know how to say no?